Has recovered it, people. Baylor has recovered the fumble. Well, that could have been the killer right there. Baylor has recovered an inside trap fumble on the 44. And for all practical purposes, unless a miracle or three of them happen here in the next 4:56, Lebanon's going to end this season with a 9-3 record.
Fran Donjou with the recovery for the Red Raiders, Bruce, as they tangled us up on that slice trap, trying to work Bentley in behind Hatfield, the block, and it came loose, and Donjou wins the wrestling match and takes the football away.
On the 44, and he takes the run and runs the football straight up the middle, and he got 9 yards to the 35. And Tommy, if you was picking a most valuable player, who would you pick?
Well, you'd be drinking if you picked anybody else.
Donjou just got 9 yards. And let's give him 8 yards, they say, 2nd and 2. What a night he's had rushing. He's up what now, Terry?
187 yards, Bruce, 33 carries. By far the biggest running night for a back against the Lebanon defense.
4 minutes in this football game, 17-0. Ball on the 35. 35 and a half. Donjou runs it again. He got 3 or 4 more. He's going to get close to 200 yards, people. He's down on the 31. He got 4 more that time. And he just keeps pounding away, and our front line seems like they're just exhausted.
I recall Rod Buchanan from Lincoln County had a great night against us maybe last year.
I know Maurice Shaw did about 4 or 5 years ago. I know he went up in the 200s.
The biggest night in the last 5 years, Randall Hugel from Murfreesboro, one of the Murfreesboro teams, 227 yards.
Well, that could be in jeopardy here with Donjou, as he hasn't done it so much with speed, but just with toughness right up the gut.
And he's running it again, and he pounds it straight ahead, and he crosses the 30, and he got to the 28. And we've got to give their offensive line a lot of credit, too, because they're simply whipping us on the line of scrimmage, and they whipped us all night, really. And there's just really no alibi as far as Tommy. They just simply whipped us. He's coming out of the ball game and gets a great hand.
He deserves it.
Terry, what do you have?
Looks like he's going to finish the night, Bruce. 35 carries, 195 yards for Fran Donjou. A very, very tough night. Good running back.
195 yards for Donjou. Good grief.
2:40 to play. The ball on the 28. 2nd down and about 8. Take it, and they run their other tailback, and he gets to the 25. And who is that? We'll have to get his number and pick up the name.
And, you know, we talk about this guy having that kind of year running a football, 1,600 yards coming into this game. There was one game they didn't play. Game 8, they didn't even play a game.
So Callahan is right now playing tailback, and he picked up about 3 or 4 on that last carry to the 25. And the clock is running, and there's 2 minutes left in Lebanon's football season. 17-0 Baylor. Power eye left. Take it, run Callahan. He's got 5. He's got 6. He's pounding his way to the 15. So, Tommy, it might not just be all Donjou. This offensive line is really whipping us on the line.
They have pounded away at us like nobody else has. McMurray, the good tailback at Gallatin, had a good night against us. But he did it with a lot of elusiveness and breaking away on some good runs. They have used this Donjou kid like a battering ram, running behind those 2 blocking backs and that offensive front. They have gotten the job done. They're in 2 tight ends now.
And the wishbone or the Colorado eye, and Callahan takes it and runs it up the middle, and he got to the 20, and he got knocked down with 1:23 and got a couple of yards out of that, maybe a yard, and that's about it. We have not had the football the second half, but only, Terry, how many plays?
Bruce, we ran the ball quickly. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 plays in the second half.
10 plays. It's kind of like tennis. You can't, or kind of like ping pong, rather. You can't score.
Unless you got the ball.
Exactly. Unless you're serving, and we have not been able to get the ball. We've had 10 offensive plays in the second half, and they're way up surely in the 30s, and there goes Callahan for 3 more. And it's 43 seconds, and the clock is running. I think one more play will probably do it. Baylor 17. Lebanon's going to end this season with a 9-3 record. They did not get that 10th win. They have tried several times last 5 years, but they just can't seem to come up with it. Baylor's going to be traveling either to Central or Jefferson County next week. The clock winds down on this season as it's down to 10 seconds, 9 seconds, 8 seconds, 7 seconds, 6 seconds, 5 seconds. They run Callahan for 2 yards. This football game is over. The final score, Baylor 17, Lebanon Blue Devils 0. Our season has come to a close. We will take a 2-minute break, and we'll be back with the final total.
The Blue Devil Booster Club thanks the following contributors for their support of this broadcast. Beard Construction Incorporated, 119 Palani Circle. Claiborne's Bakery, 1019 West Main. David Harvey Auto Sales, 500 South Cumberland. Designers Printing Company, 1411 West Main. Dick's Food Mart, 1218 West Main. Edco TV, 210 West High. James Barbecue Restaurant on Glover Street. K&M Cabinet Company, 551 Park Avenue. Lebanon Cablevision, 223 South College. Compliments of Midwestco Permapipe Division, 1310 Quarles Drive. Sovereign Bank, 120 West Main and 1416A West Main. Compliments of TRW Ross Gear Division, celebrating 30 years in Lebanon. Video Movie Centers, 111 West Main. Winfrey's Roan Jewelers, supporting our community for 35 years. And a contribution has been made in honor of the coaches, team, and Raymond Lassiter, a winning combination.
Baylor defeats Lebanon by a score of 17-0. The Blue Devils drop to 9-3 on the season. The Red Raiders improve to 10-2. They advance to the 3rd round. Baylor will travel to the winner of tonight's Knox Central Jefferson County football game. That game still underway because it took only an hour and 45 minutes for Baylor to beat us 17-0. They dominated this football team on the ground. They came right at us and attacked us, won the battle in the trenches. Terry Stafford's got the numbers together. Terry, what about it?
Chattanooga Baylor defeats Lebanon in the round 2 playoff, TSSAA State playoffs round 2, recapping the scoring. Baylor got on the board in the second quarter, 11-19 in the second quarter. Fran Donjou with a 1-yard touchdown run, capping a 12-play, 62-yard drive. Adam Hodges kicks the extra point. Baylor led 7-0. Baylor gets on the board with 10 seconds left in the first half. Adam Hodges, a 26-yard field goal, this time a 6-play, 38-yard drive, and Baylor led at halftime 10-0. The only scoring in the second half, Baylor with 29 seconds left in the third quarter. Ryan Dillon, the quarterback, a 1-yard run, this time a 10-play, 50-yard drive. Hodges again with the extra point, and that was our final as Chattanooga Baylor beats Lebanon 17-0. Statistically in the ball game, Chattanooga Baylor ran the ball 53 times tonight for 264 yards. Lebanon with 28 carries for 108. Through the air, Chattanooga Baylor 3 of 8 for 62 yards, no interceptions, no touchdowns. Lebanon only 2 of 10 through the air, 57 yards, 1 interception, no touchdowns. Total yardage in the game, Lebanon 165, Baylor 326 total yards. First downs completely dominated by Baylor. 16 first downs, 14 of those on the ground. Lebanon with 8 first downs, only 1 in the second half. Lebanon with 8 first downs, 6 on the ground, 2 through the air. Turnovers, Baylor turned the ball over once. It was a fumble. Lebanon turned it over twice, 1 fumble, 1 interception. An oddity of the ball game, no penalty flags for the entire ball game. Individually for the ball game, first for Chattanooga Baylor, Ryan Dillon, the quarterback, four carries, 17 yards. Andy Moore, 6 carries, 27 yards. Ron Donjou, 35 carries, 195 yards for Donjou. Pete Hall carried the ball once for 1. Damon Callahan, 7 for 24. For Baylor, 53 carries, 264 on the ground, 195 of that coming from Donjou. Through the air, Ryan Dillon, 3 of 8, 62 yards, 62 on through the air, 264 on the ground, 326 total yards for Baylor. For Lebanon, Triplett, 1 carry, 3 yards. Zach Dirksen, 6 for 34. Montoya Crutchfield, 14 carries, 57 yards. Marlowe C., 1 for 2. Reggie Porter, 3 for 7. And Alan Bentley, 3 carries, 5 yards. 28 carries for Lebanon, 108 on the ground. Triplett, 2 of 10 tonight, 57 yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions. 57 through the air, 1